Greetings.
Hello, hello.
This is Shem, Ahuli. I'm here with my sister, Lotus arising.
Lotus arising. Welcome,
Fire.
everyone. We are rising in the house.
Yeah.
The Lotus vibes, tea vibes. We're here with Shem, Ahuli, Soul Bay. Honor to have you here. Thank you for being here, Shem.
You're welcome.
If you can, just introduce yourself and let's let everybody know a little recap about you. Yeah.
Well, I'm Shem, Ahuli Soul Bay. I came up with this name and maybe about 2 years ago, 2017, 2018, roughly. And it just became part of my liberty. I came up with the name Shem, started with my business name, Simply Herbal Ethereal Move. It first started off as Ethereal Move, Simply Herbal, and then I switched the abbreviation from EM to EM, SI to SH to SHEM. And once I made that shift, I was called by a sister and she just randomly called me Shem. Ever since that moment, I just went forward with that name, and it just became part of me. And I just looked into the meaning. It comes from, scripture as well. One of the sons of Noah. So it deeply resonated with me as a being, in my liberty and everything, and such and such and such. And also, I just realized that it also has something to do with a will of light or a chariot, which is what a Shem is. The Trinity.
And how long have you been a servant for SHEM or Shem?
Well, I am a servant. My service is healing or shamanistic healing or shamanistic.
Is that what Shem stands for, kind of? Like
No.
No.
Shem stands for Simply Herbal Ethereal Move. But that's just for the business aspect of what I do as a servant.
I feel you. I got you.
Yeah.
Sweet. What is poetic scribe?
Poetic scribe is what I do as a poet. I'm a poet. I write. I write things that I feel inspired to write. Things that I realize, things that I witness, things that I feel, sense, and observe within life on a universal scale, but also on a macro. So it's more like an as within, so without type of writing or art that I just express from my heart, from my mind, through my hand, through a pen or through a pencil.
Beautiful.
Or sometimes I just freestyle with it. But yeah.
Awesome, man. I love it. And how long have you been practicing yoga?
Roughly 3 years, maybe 4.
What inspired you or motivated you to get it started?
A sister by the name of Alexis Benitez. She, kind of like just came into my life randomly at Acupuncture and Massage College. Well, not randomly. I'm not gonna say randomly because everything happens for a reason. But it was such a divine moment that just like brought me or introduced the Ayurvedic and Indian culture or Thailand culture to my being before I even, actually had the interest in it, because I was, I was aware of it, but just never got into it until she came into my life. So that's when I got started with yoga, and I feel like I've always been into yoga even since a child, and I don't feel like yoga is all about poses and asanas and whatnot. I feel more like yoga is more like a quality of being. Like when you're living yoga, body, mind, exactly. When you're living a lifestyle of yoga, it becomes part of you, just every part of the thing, everything that you do.
Every fiber in your being. You wake up and you like appreciate life more, and it shifts your mentality.
And you're just flowing, and there's no interruption in how you flow, because you're just constantly in a synchronized body, mind, and soul, spirit. It's not just body, mind. Yoga is everything. It's everything that you have to incorporate within your liberty, your lifestyle, your movement, how you
Would you say that
being.
it rids us from chaotic thought or toxic thoughts or anything negative? It like rids us from that, takes away.
Exactly. It cancels out all the spells. It helps you to transcend, like the spells of this third dimensional reality that everybody's stuck and so attached to. It's like everybody's just attached to the material realm that's keeping them bound by limits. And those spells can come in the form of spirits, demons, all out. Everything's out here. Like, everything is going on. Everything is everything.
You feel like you
Spiritual
learn
warfare on so many different levels. Yoga helps you to accomplish, and yoga helps you to overcome that spiritual warfare when you're living yoga. Poses does help, but that's when I started to get into the poses, when Alexis Benitez came into my life. But yoga, just to encapsulate everything what I just said, yoga is how you live. Yoga is how you live.
And you went to the Florida College of Natural Health for massage therapy.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you learned a lot of life experience going there?
Yeah, I did actually. When I went to Florida College of Natural Health, I actually learned about anatomy. And that was the main thing that amplified my perception and unified my perception of oneness. Greetings, Shem. Greetings. Oh, we must be in like another like.
That's the thing is like we're all stuck in this
like
programmed world.
You see what I mean? Like she clearly didn't acknowledge or feel me.
Yeah.
Like, she was just on a whole different frequency vibration. Just speaking to her, just like completely absent.
But I think that's the beauty of the drums, that like ancient cultural, like that healing that comes from those drums that you've experienced for like such a really long time. Like that's kind of what I'm more interested in. I want to know more about like Miss Nigeri. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but like how did she influence you and like what did she teach you?
Since a child, Miss Najari has been into my life from Delu, Africa. She's been running this organization for I don't know how long, but it's been going since my early childhood. So drumming has always, or African drumming to be specific, has always been into my liberty. It's been there, but I've always drummed, but without an actual djembe drum or drum set. I've always played on the table. I had rhythm into my life. Always listening to music, just very driven by rhythm. It's always been like that. I'm a dancer as well. Many people they may not see me dance today, but back in how I used to vibes. When I was younger, about around 17, it was just a vibes where I would just always be moving and dancing and just living in my fire, just expressing my fire to this on a very external state, an external way of being. But now it's like I reserve that fire, and I keep that fire just like stable and just very reserved, but using that fire on a very astral plane.
Yes.
Very etheric with the fire.
Yeah.
Because fire rises.
Of
But
course.
drumming has always been my outlet, rhythm. And now that I've gotten into drumming today, I've been drumming by myself alone, probably like 5-6 years, maybe longer. I'm not sure. Like djembe drumming.
There's so many other
3 to 4,
realities.
maybe
It's
5.
like,
I'm not sure exactly how
time doesn't
long.
even exist. It's like this is the energy that we feel. It's the frequency. It's the evolution of it all. It's like that's what you forget about time. Because it's like a heartbeat.
Exactly. It's a oneness.
Yeah.
And when I was in massage therapy, going back to that, I was studying a cell just before I took my state board exam to pass the test to become a licensed massage therapist. This is what I do. Actually licensed by the state of Florida.
Oh, nice. How long have you been licensed?
4 years.
Awesome.
So I was studying a cell, and I had this deep introspect, insightful moment that a cell is pretty much an earth, and we're made of cells, of many cells. And we're living on a cell called the earth, but within this earth, there's so many different other types of cells too. So we're living in a cellular matrix. We're living in a cellular matrix, externally and internally. All these stars, planets, moons,
We're connected.
clusters, everything is just a oneness. Everything, you have clusters inside of your body. Cell clusters, micro clusters, astro clusters, all types of clusters within your body of cells and atoms, light particles. That's what we are. We just have to amplify. But go ahead.
So how does your specific massage therapy and drum therapy help people heal?
The rhythm coming from my heart, the rhythm that I just live
It's a beautiful answer.
in. It's the vibration that I give off that affects the cellular matrix within another human being or another object, another life form.
Preach it. Sorry, I'm
A
getting
tree.
excited. I
Like
want to see that.
your vibration affects everything into your environment, and the more you amplify and the more you increase your vibration, the more you increase your light within yourself, when you stay in alignment with yourself, the more powerful your effect on your reality, on everything around you will be.
I completely agree with you because I feel like in everyday society and everyday life, like we're so programmed to stop using our hearts and like to stop feeling and being passionate, and that's why music in modern day isn't like it used to be. That we become a slave or a victim to ourselves and to a reality that doesn't even exist. That we programmed ourselves to believe in. But the reality is when you speak with your heart, when you speak with passion, when you speak with your soul, if it's still there, if it still exists, if we can allow it to come out, it's the beauty in that brings us all together and then we unite as one, you know? Like, it's like, I'm getting chills right now just talking to you, and it's crazy because your light is so strong and powerful that this is probably one of the most natural interviews just because of how strong your light is. It's like, it is about it being natural. It is about it being pure. It is about the essence of our just natural state of being, and like how can my heart help your heart, and how can this energy help that person, and then it's like it just bounces off of each other. Next thing you know, everybody's one. You know, it's a beautiful thing.
But the issue today is everyone has this ego that creates separation between one another, and that
Completely.
creates that disconnection between oneness. That's what's bothering, or that's what's causing people to be disarrayed and bouncing off each other in very disharmonious ways, or colliding in disharmonious ways, synchronizing in disharmonious ways, and end up just popping off and not really listening to us. But they're not really synchronizing with people or just everything. One. Synchronizing with one because of that ego. When you have no ego, you just synchronize with
It's
everything.
free, it's natural,
Exactly.
it's flowing like the ocean.
You synchronize with everything all at one time within the oneness of everything.
And I have to know, what is Cherokee American more? Is that part of your, like, I don't know.
Cherokee is my bloodline here in North Amexem. I'm not gonna call it America. Amexem is the ancient Moabite name for America. America is very ancient, just like Africa. America is Africa. I feel like all land is Africa. Just different pieces of Africa broken up into pieces. Because the pieces of Africa were all one. America, Australia, China, everything was just, I feel like it's all Africa.
And where do you feel like rhythm originated?
Universe. Universe is rhythm. Like rhythm is just one of the things in the universe that has to
And one day it was
express itself for creation to exist. There's no creation without
it smells
rhythm.
good. That air.
It
You smell that?
It smells blissful.
I think it's time for some tea. With that being said, let's have a little bit of tea here. We have a raspberry, blueberry, lemon, ginger, white blue lotus tea, which is an ancient Egyptian tea that originated in Egypt and just used to help cleanse us and open our consciousness, open our pineal gland, expand our mind, but also keep us balanced in a way where, like we were talking about, people are so caught up in their mind and the worries of the day and like paying this and this amount and this. It's like
All
they wake up
spells.
with all these stresses, but
It's all spells.
yeah.
Spells. Which we can call them demons too. All those stresses, those are demons.
Can we cheers to
And
that?
other people.
Cheers to releasing those demons.
Cheers to release. Cheers to purification. Cheers to healing.
Purification. Yeah, that's a really good one.
We have to relieve ourselves from all of those burdens.
Because like, what happens if we don't? You know?
We have to keep ourselves like strong. We have to strengthen our aura. That's the main thing. But if you got any more questions, I'm like kind of like taking over the whole thing.
No, you're good. How do we cleanse our aura? How do we shift our aura? What would you recommend for our viewers how they could shift their aura?
Going to the beach, spending more time in nature.
Yes.
And
Perfect
spending a lot of time in nature. Like your electromagnetic field should always be in synchronicity with the Earth's electromagnetic field. The Earth's electromagnetic field is dropping, but the more you connect with Earth, planting your feet in the dirt, or just going out to the beach and just getting that salt water into your cells helps to keep yourself in a very fluid and harmonious, effortlessly way of just being. Like,
I'm opening up my aura
Yeah.
as we speak. I can
it's
feel
just,
it.
you just live. It's like no reason to feel restrained
Yeah.
or limited.
I think often people do
Because-
feel restrained or limited because like they won't allow themselves to open up because of maybe their 9 to 5 or the stress of society, or maybe they've closed
It's
themselves
attachments.
up.
It's attachments. Because we can still do all these things without being attached to these things that bring us down emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically too.
Yeah, I agree completely, wholeheartedly.
Yeah, so definitely.
I feel that I just released a lot right now. Honestly, like a lot of things you say, I've understood, I've always agreed with them, and I've always accepted them. But sometimes when you have a conversation with somebody and you feel their energy on a certain level, it gives you a higher acceptance of it. It's like even though you already accepted or knew it, maybe you didn't fully accept it, and maybe you just needed to hear one thing that's like, oh yeah, that click right there. That's like, that makes sense. You know what I mean? So like with that being said, I would love to hear something that you would like to play, maybe on the drums or
Sure.
anything that you want to share. Guys, Shem Ahuli, so there, guys. Vibing. And maybe I'll sing. I do improv. We got that vibe right, we got that level right. A lotus arise, and when we only rise, we don't fall down, we fall down, we get back up. We got that lotus vibe, that arise. We got Shem Ahuli so bad. Thank you for being here today. We met at Inhale. Thank you, Ricky.